Alright, so what I'm using is this Logitech speaker set. I'll put the exact model on the screen. I don't know which one it is, but has these two speakers. They plug into the back, and then a really nice subwoofer, which sounds really great. Let me just say this. A really easy way to do this is literally just buying a Bluetooth module that has an aux in port, and then you could literally make this speaker Bluetooth, which would be amazing. But I want mine to be a little more, I don't know, cool looking in a way. That way it has its own media control screen, which I'll be using a phone literally on top of this, because I think that'll look sick. And then what I'm going to be using to control this, to put the screen here, is a LG Fiesta 2. It's a really old phone, and I don't have a need for it, so I'm just gonna. I downloaded something called YouTube Vanced, and pretty much it has YouTube Music Vanced and then YouTube Vanced, and pretty much it's no ads and full dark mode and everything. So what I'm gonna do is and it's completely free, by the way. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount this probably about right here, to where all you gotta do is just type stuff in like that, and you just grab one of the sides and just do that. So I think that'll be really easy, and I might install some apps on this thing to make it strictly just for music, because I don't really want it to seem like a phone. And what I'm gonna be using to make the casing out of all this is just a lot of foam board. So I have this whole big daggum thing of foam board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of foam board, the exact dimension of the top of this, and then I'll put the phone right under it, and then build sides to where the only thing you see is the screen. Alright, well, I got the piece cut off, and it's, like I said earlier, it's going to be perfectly matched up with the top of this. Now I just got to flip this around, doesn't really matter which way, and then cut out a hole only as big as the screen, not the whole phone, because we don't give a frick about all this bull crap. One really quick other thing is that, because we're not really going to take this out because it's bull crap and so we don't need to, you want to make sure, of course, you have the aux that actually comes from the speaker plugged into this, and then a charging cord. This charging cord is, of course, going to be under the phone board. It's going to be wrapped all the way on the side of the phone, just like this. Just on the side of the phone over there, that way you won't be able to see it, and of course you'll never have to charge the daggum thing. Alright, so here it's a little rough around the edges, but I mean, who cares? So pretty much what I've done here is completely carved out all this. It was really hard to measure it all, but I was able to do it. And the phone fits perfectly there, so now I can just set this on top of here. And then I'll maybe glue it, because I really do not care about this phone. But yeah, pretty much just going to look something like, get this perfectly straight. And all the edges and everything are fixed up. It'll look probably something just like that. I say it looks pretty good. Okay, so pretty much back to this. Got all this wired up again. Plug the speaker up just to make sure it's working. There's the volume. I don't know where I'm going to mount this yet, but it'll probably on the side somewhere, then the power button, of course. And then, because this looks really bad, I cut this out of cardstock. And hold, let me see if I can get this on right. About like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down to this, so this all looks really nice, and this is going to be way more flush, so it'll look a little better. And then what I'm going to do, just to make it look, I don't know, a little bit better, and also the phone stick in the phone board, I'm going to glue this right here, 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 and here to make some more to where it's floating a little bit, and I'm going to put that right on top of it. And pretty much it'll be floating a little bit. You can look if you look under it, but I just want it to look a little cool, so I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to glue some stuff to this real fast. Alright, so I'm not glued this on yet, but pretty much I glued those there. I'm going to put some glue there, there, and there. And what I'm doing is I'm using super glue for this. But then this is just going to set on top of that like that. And it's going to have a little bit of a floating effect, as you can see. So it looks really cool. I'll show that off more later. But yeah, it's all coming along, and then right after all that, so I'm going to put this on and then find a place to mount this. Alright, this is it now. As you can see, it's kind of floating, like I said. And it looks actually really, really good. And then this is, of course, the top of it still, and then out the back. Let me turn it around. This is what's coming out of the back. The aux, which actually plugs directly into the speaker, and then the charging cord, which right now is just a USB over there. And it sucks because, I mean, it doesn't really make sense. There's no USB in the back. I mean, it doesn't really make sense why there would be, but that'd be awesome. But we'll just have to plug that into the wall alongside the power for this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this thing right on the back right there where there's perfect space. So you just come around the back and the volume knob is going to be sticking out right there. So all you got to do is feel for it and then turn it up or down. And power button, of course, it's obviously feel for that, it's there too. So I'm just going to mount that and then get all the cables out of the way and then we're pretty much done. Alright, so here it is right now. It's almost completely done. I'll turn this around. As you can see, we have this in the back now. So all this is wired up and all the wires I hid down there. So I'll show you that in a second. Let me turn this over. Alright, here's it completely flipped over, and then this is the back, of course. So what I've done is wrapped all the wires around the subwoofer and under these little legs too. And this stuff is not going anywhere, so that's where all the excess wire went. Now the only wires we have are the two speakers here, the USB to charge the phone, and then the power. So that's literally all the mandatory wires we need, and then we can easily hide those later. Alright, so here's the final thing. Pretty much looks about the same. The only thing I really did was change this whole thing. I'll have to put it at an angle here so you can actually see it. It's a little laggy because I have this app called Diffuse, and I got the premium version of it too. So like, say I play music, I don't know if you can tell, but it moves that. So as you can see, there's a bunch of fluid motion. It looks really cool. So I have that. I have weather here, YouTube music toggle, so that's easy. You can of course click on it, goes to the app, then Google, and then all this other bullcrap because it's a phone, of course. So if you click on this, it takes you right to the app, and then click back out of it, and you're just right here left with this. So I think that's about as good as I can make that like this actual screen part of it look. I can't really hide any of this because it's Android 7, I think. So I don't really have any of those cool features, but that's as good as I could get it.